What's up, everybody? This is Jed Johnson from DieselCrew.com. Of course, you know they call me NAPALM. And this is episode number 2 of NAPALM Live. And I'm here all by myself tonight because I don't have anyone here to interview. But I've reached out to people and we're planning more interviews. And there will be plenty more of this stuff coming your way. I've just gotten done training. Tonight is Thursday night, so tonight was a grip night. And I would like to do these on Fridays, but we're going to get them done when we can. Come on up. So I have 2 things that I want to talk about tonight. And I'm trying to somehow watch it on my phone so that I can possibly see if there's any comments coming through. But I don't know how to do that. So maybe I'm not going to be able to. This is all new to me. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I haven't asked anyone for help. So this is how it's going to be. I know in episode 1, when I interviewed Evan Norton, the phone was set up so that it was set up in portrait mode, and I tried to film it in landscape mode. So you have to turn your camera. But I think I figured it out thanks to my buddy Clint, who showed me a couple things, and I think it's working now. I would love to get some feedback, but I can't see anything because I don't know how to do that. All right, so like I said, I've got 2 topics that I want to cover, and this may be a shorter episode than last time, but make sure you check out episode number 1 with my training partner, Evan Norton. So I am starting a men's-only lifting group here at my gym. I have never done this. I've had youth lifting in the summer. I call it strength camp. I've had girls power hour on Saturday mornings, but I have never started a men's only lifting group. Now naturally men have always been welcome here at the gym, and I've worked them in with mixed crowds of varying ages, men, women, youth, etc. But this is going to be a little bit different because recently, I've had the opportunity to speak with many men in the area, and I'm seeing a lot of patterns from those conversations, and things like dealing with injuries, long-standing injuries, ankles, knees, elbow pain, back pain, and all of this stuff is stuff that I've had to deal with as well, and I feel that I've got a pretty good grasp on how to address those things, and maybe not completely fix them, but to reduce them tremendously to improve quality of life. So beyond that, not just injuries, I'm talking with guys that are depressed. They've been dealing with depression for a long time, and I want to help out with that. Stress. I think we're all dealing with stress these days, but some of the guys that I've spoken with in the last few weeks, they're so stressed out, I think they're about ready to explode, some of them. And a handful of them are frustrated with their weight. And I think I've got a very good grasp on helping people that are overweight trim down, feel better physically, feel better about themselves, increase their confidence and self-esteem, and things along those lines. And the great thing about having a gym is training can help with all of these things. So beyond just getting stronger, and bigger, which are the main emphasis that I focus on in my training, you also get the benefits of good hormones going through your body, improved testosterone levels, a decrease in stress, loss of weight, and improved self-esteem and quality of life. So what I did was I reached out to probably about 200 people. And I reached out to so many people on Facebook Messenger that I was no longer able to send messages, so it like shut me down. So if you are a friend of mine and you didn't receive a message from me, it's not because I don't care about you. I do care about you. And I would have gone through my entire friends list and messaged every single person on the list, but I got stopped dead in my tracks. I did not realize that Facebook Messenger would do that. But after I got shut down on Messenger, then I went to text messages and I actually went through my entire contact list, which was shocking. I don't know how many hundreds of contacts that I have in my phone, but there, I can't even tell you how many people are in my contact list and I have absolutely no idea who they are. So that was very interesting. But I got through my entire contact list from the numbers and then all the way down through the alphabet. And I was just trying to reach as many people as I could. Since I got stopped dead in my tracks with direct messaging, today I put up a post on Facebook and it seemed to gotten some pretty good attention. And several people have shared that post. So I really appreciate everyone who did that. In fact, several men who shared that were people that I already messaged about the men's group. So I really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody if you're watching this. Guys, I feel this, I've never felt like I had a calling in life. I never felt like there was like much of a specific purpose behind any actions that I've done. But I woke up last Thursday and this was so strong in my heart and soul. I feel like this is my calling. So that's why I put so much effort into reaching out to people and trying to make this new project with the gym a success. I want to change lives. I want to improve people's quality of life. I want to help people extend the years that they live and the quality of life and the way that they're able to enjoy their life, because I know what lifting has done for me. I know that, beyond putting weight on the bar, beyond grip sport competitions, it's way beyond that. It's more about a quality of life thing. It's more about self-esteem and pride and being able to set goals and reach those goals through systematic training approach. And that's what I want to help people with. So this is not going to start with just day one of training. This is going to be different. We're going to have a group meeting at an undisclosed location on November 25th at 7 p.m. So the only way to find out where that is initially was to email me, and then I have opened it up where people can Facebook message me if they're interested, and they can find out where the location is. But this is something that I want to make very special, and I have other ideas that I don't want to talk about right now. This is going to start with training, but I think I can bring more to the table than that, and that part of it will be discussed at the meeting. I want everyone to think about this as Fight Club only. There won't be any fighting, and I promise I'm not going to send people out on assignments to destroy public property or private property for that matter. Instead, this is going to be about lifting and destroying your own personal limitations, because I know that people are capable of so much more than they give themselves credit for. And when you are involved in something like strength training, lifting, bodybuilding, it feeds off into every other aspect of your life. A lot of people say the way you lift is the way you live, and I think that there's a lot that I think that holds a lot of water. If anyone is interested in this meeting. I'll give you two alternatives. You can email me. My email address is jed.diesel@gmail.com. jed.diesel@gmail.com. The other way would be through Facebook. Just find me on Facebook and message me through my personal account. I hate the business accounts. I cannot stand messaging people. So do not message me through the Peak Strength and Fitness group. Don't message me through Jed Johnson, dieselcrew.com. Message me through my personal Facebook account. The only way to get into the lifting group is through this meeting. The only way to get to this meeting is by contacting me directly for the information. We're not screwing around with this. I'm not gonna take a half hour at that meeting to describe what we are going to be doing in the training and how we're gonna change our lives, and then let someone else in when we start the training program. You have to go through the steps, that's all there is to it. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me and let me know, and I will clarify as much as I can, but you're not getting that location unless you go through the steps. All right, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, part two in this, is the Mash Monster process, because I just saw something that makes me absolutely sick on the grip board. So, just to clarify before we get into this, what's the Mash Monster and what's the grip board? So I'll cover the second one first. The grip board is the world's leading forum for grip training information. So I don't know how many members it's got, but I've been a member since 2003 or 2004. And it used to be, it's always been the best forum for training information related to grip. It always has been, ever since I started this stuff. And it took me 2 tries to get on. You used to have to kind of apply to get on the grip board. I'm not sure what the process is now. Well, around 2004, 2005, the owner of the grip board, Bill Pache, created the Mash Monster Gripper certification. The reason that this came about was because the most famous gripper certification at that time was the Iron Mind Captains of Crush certification. And around this time, they changed the rules so that, the original rules were you could use your own gripper, you could set it down, and then the last inch of space between the handles had to be visible before you made your close. At some point, and I don't know what reason brought this about, but at some point they changed the rules where you had to set the gripper and then pass a credit card through the handles and then close it down. Which is, all right, that's cool. You're gonna use something to judge the depth. I get that. However, the credit card set is so wide that it makes it very, very difficult for smaller-handed individuals. Just so you know, in grip sport, generally we use a 20 or a 30 millimeter block to establish the distance between the handles, and this is considered much more fair for the smaller-handed individuals. When those changes were made, that indirectly or directly is what set into motion the Mash Monster certification. On top of the rule change, there were also, you can use your own gripper, and grippers vary. So what Bill Pache did was he bought a 10 gripper series of grippers, and you had to show that you could close a 3 or maybe an elite or something like that, but at least a number 3, and that was considered Mash Monster 0. But that qualified you to make an attempt on Mash Monster 1. Once you close Mash Monster 1, then you can sign up for Mash Monster 2, and you could try to climb the ladder. And I think the best ever certification was Mash Monster 8. Don't quote me on it. My best my top level was Mash Monster 4, and it took me 10 times, more or less, to certify on the Mash Monster 3. So I'm someone who is definitely familiar with failing on Mash Monster certifications. There's no doubt about it. That certification was started sometime around 2004, and then around either the end of 2023 or the beginning of this year, that certification was retired. And Matt Cannon, who owns the grip board now, he set out to get a new set of Mash Monster grippers, and it's been reenacted. So the process back in the day was, like I said, you had to earn your MMO, MM0, by closing a 3, and then you could get into the queue for Mash Monster 1. As I recall, it was $10, a $10 fee to get the gripper sent to you, because I volunteered to send out certificates. So you would pay your money, the gripper would be sent to you, you would film an unboxing of the gripper, you would take your temps, which if I remember correctly had to be done in 15 minutes. You would take your attempts, you would seal the box back up and send it back to headquarters. There were then judges that they would review your video and give you a white light if it was good or a red light if it was bad. And many people were successful. Some people failed and they'd have to try again. Like I said, I failed a total of close to 10 times. I lost count. So I spent hundreds of dollars just on that, or at least $100 just on that one gripper. Now, if they were successful, they would get a certificate. So what I said earlier was I volunteered to send the certificates out. So I actually used to mail certificates back in the day to the people who completed the certification. And I don't remember when that was. It doesn't matter. The point is, that old certification is done. But now there's a new Mash Monster certification. And it just recently got started back up. I'm not sure all the people who have certified thus far, but I know that Heath Sexton was the first one. And I don't remember what gripper it was that he closed. They are numbered differently. I know that there's a 160, there's a 170, there's a 190. I don't know what else is in there because I haven't paid close enough attention. All right, I've judged one close so far. Okay, so that brings us to present day. Derek Palmieri signed up for the Mash Monster 170, and I did not judge the closes. I did not judge the closes. I did not even look at the videos. I stayed out of this. He ended up getting failed. Next thing I know, on the grip board, in the public forum, the main forum, there's this guy Glitch, no idea who that is, comes on the grip board and makes a post, and the post is titled, "Questioning the Integrity of Mash Monster Certifications." Questioning the integrity of Mash Monster certifications. So apparently, Glitch is a friend, colleague, whatever, of Derek Palmieri. He goes in here and he says that, I guess he found out about the failure on Instagram, which I tried to go in and look, and apparently Derek has blocked me on Instagram because I could not see anything regarding this. So I don't have any more specifics. I don't know exactly what Derek said. Some of it is in the post. This is what I can tell you. There's absolutely no reason to question the integrity of Mash Monster judges. Little backstory. Derek Palmieri was training for the Crush to Dust certification a handful of years ago. I'm not sure how long it was. But he was posting videos. The Crush to Dust certification is by Ironmind as well. And you have to close a number 2 with a credit card set. You have to lift 45 pounds on the hub. And you have to lift 200 pounds on the Rolling Thunder. Okay? I am Crush to Dust certified. Derek was posting videos where he, while lifting the Rolling Thunder, he had the Rolling Thunder either pinned directly against his leg, or it was being supported by the clothing on his lower body. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, you really can't do that. Basically, this is where medial thigh mania comes from. He was essentially lifting the Rolling Thunder with it pinned directly against his body. There was absolutely no legitimacy of his Rolling Thunder lifts whatsoever, so I reached out to him. Well, he took that as an insult that I would reach out to him. I've done this, I don't know how many times with people, just reach out and say, hey, you know, you're bracing, blah, blah, blah. Well, he didn't like that, and he took that personally. Well, eventually he gets certified, and lo and behold, the video comes out, and he is literally bracing the Rolling Thunder against his body during the lift. I have no idea how it's possible that Ironmind thought it was correct to make that a good call for that lift. I have no idea. But it shouldn't have been considered a valid lift. So Derek was then called out by multiple people for this invalid lift that got credited as a certification lift. Since then, the video's been pulled down. I'm sure someone has it on their computer. It's probably out there somewhere. It doesn't matter. This kind of got heated between Derek and me. And in 2022, probably in June of 2022, we got on the phone and we hashed it out. And I explained to him my thoughts, he explained his. So basically the way he put it to me was, the way he looked at it, he followed what Ironmind required, so it should be a non-issue. He did what Ironmind asked of him. I was like, well, probably be better in everyone's eyes if you redid the certification without bracing. And he was not interested in that. He said he had moved back onto gripper training, and that was his emphasis, and he wasn't going to go back to Rolling Thunder training for the cert. Derek had posted videos where he was doing lifts with sub-maximal weight, and the weight was not pinned against his body. There was plenty of clearance, but Derek's contention was that because the loading pin, the Ironmind loading pin is so tall, so don't forget, you've got your, 15-inch loading pin, then you've got a carabiner, then you've got a Rolling Thunder. So you're looking at a pull height that starts 20 inches off the ground or so, and Derek is not a tall guy. So he felt he was at a disadvantage because of the loading pin height and where he had to pull from. So what I suggested was pulling on blocks. I never saw a video of Derek trying that. I don't know if Ironmind would allow it. It would only take an email to contact Ironmind and ask if that was possible. But if you stand on blocks, so if the loading pin is slightly in front of you and beneath your body, and then you stand on blocks, then that makes you higher. That elevates you above the handle. I don't know if he was willing to try that or not. I think he may have said something about his height would make that uncomfortable for him. I'm not sure. All I know is in grip sport, when someone is on the shorter side and the loading pin is tall, we allow people to stand on blocks. I always have extra plates to stand on. I have 3-inch wooden blocks to stand on, and I even have 9 or 9.5-inch wooden blocks that people can stand on. And this is an option that is provided in, I think, every grip contest that is being run. It's just part of the sport. I don't know if he tried that or not. All I know is when I spoke to him about the importance of redoing the certification without bracing, he was not interested in it. So I kind of dropped it, and I thought we were good. I thought we were good. In fact, sometime later, I want to say late 22 or early 23, it was probably 22. Derek ended up buying my product, cadence-based training, from me, which surprised me because previous to that, he had said that he would never buy anything from me, never do anything to support me. Fine, that's fine. You don't want to buy something from me, I don't care. But at the same time, I'm not going to help you with advice either. So it's a two-way street here. He ended up, I think he ended up buying NAPALM Nightmares from us as well. So in my mind, I think we're all good. He goes on the Couch Potato podcast and talks all about my program and how it helped him so much with his grippers, blah, blah, blah. So I think we're good. I think we even had some interactions that were positive. I thought it was water under the bridge, and I didn't bring it up again. In fact, when people would use the hashtag medial thigh mania, I wouldn't participate. I would tell people that beef is squashed, it's all over, blah, blah, blah. To my surprise, earlier this year on the grip board, Derek starts bringing all this stuff up again. I had put up a video on YouTube, and I don't know when this was, but I referred to the pinky pad as the hypothenar eminence, and I referred to the thumb pad as the hyperthenar eminence, which I know for a fact I have read it being called that before, not necessarily in some kind of official reference book or anything from the physical therapy industry, but I had heard other people call it that before. You're getting hair all over the place, brother. Either way, it was a mistake that I made. And he called me out on it, but he ridiculed me about it. So again, I haven't had, the only class that I've ever had, official class, for like the anatomy of the body and the muscles and all that stuff, was way back in like 2000 when I was in college. I took one class, it was a kinesiology class. So shoot me if I don't remember every single term from that, but I can tell you I got hundreds on every single quiz, and I still remember the basics about that stuff. But if you ask me where a muscle originates or where it inserts, I'm not gonna be able to give you the specific information. Luke, after I don't know how many years of being out of school, he can tell you all that stuff. I don't know how he remembers that stuff, but he can. Anyway, that was part of the beef. I don't remember what happened first. I think I called him out on the Rolling Thunder bracing first, but it doesn't matter. I thought all that stuff was squashed. I didn't care anymore. I wasn't going to bring it up. All of a sudden, earlier this year, he's running his mouth about that on Gripboard. So any video that he submits for a certification, I'm not going anywhere near that. So I didn't judge his cert. I don't know who judged his cert. I didn't look. The fact of the matter is, the people who are Mash Monster judges, there's no reason to question their integrity. I don't know what the motivation was for this glitch guy to go on there and do that. My assumption is that he got some, he got the side of the story from Derek. Derek, I'm assuming, thinks I red lighted him. I didn't red light him. I'm not like that. I'm not gonna, out of spite, red light someone's certification because we had beef 2 years ago. Come on, bro. It's not gonna happen. But I can tell you this. Tonight I did look at the video, and if I were judging that and it weren't Derek and it were somebody else, there's no way I would okay that lift. He's got the gripper so far away from the camera, bro. You can't tell if that gripper's closed. There's no way. I used to judge gripper closes all the time back during the original Mash Monster certification, and I would be the only one that red lighted them because I was strict because I expected people to be strict on me. Like if you can't look at that video the way it is naturally, without zooming in, without taking still shots and stuff like that, if you can't just look at the video and tell it's closed, then in my mind it's not closed. I'm not going to say it's closed. So there were at least one or two times where I was the only one that red lighted the close. And Bill Pichet actually reached out to me and said, "What's wrong with that close?" I was like, "Dude, I can't tell that that's closed." So he's like, "It's definitely closed." Well, I don't know, man. I didn't think it was supposed to be clear. It's supposed to be clear that it was closed. Again, this is close to 20 years ago. So I don't know a lot of the specific details, but I know this little conversation took place. And if I were to judge closes today and I look at the video and it looks like there might be a space or I can't tell if those handles are hitting together, then dude, I'm not gonna okay the close. That's just me. There's been, there were a few where I was like, wow, that got passed, but maybe it's just me. I know on my videos that I would submit, I didn't have like a high quality camera for a long time, so. And it was also like, I was on a dial-up modem back in the day. And I had to keep the video quality somewhat lower or else it would take like an entire day to upload the footage. So instead I started having my friends upload it, because they had the higher speed modems. But, as I said earlier, I missed the MM3 close to 10 times. Do you know how many times I made a post on the grip board complaining about the integrity of the judges? Zero. And there were times that I was pretty sure the gripper handles touched. But if the video don't show it, then you can't call it. And this video, I mean, he's just shooting too far away. If he stands closer to the camera, maybe changes the angle a little bit, maybe if the lighting is a little bit better, he probably gets certified, and this is a non-issue. But no, instead, he gets failed and has to go out on social media and start tearing people down. And God only knows how many messages he's sent. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, like, really annoys me about grip. Is these whiners like this. And he's the first to call out poor video. He's the first to doubt someone's clothes. And then when he gets red lighted, he's got to go out and make a big deal about it, which is too bad. It's just too bad. There's nothing wrong with the Mash Monster judges. They do a perfectly fine job. I don't know who all of them are, but there's a bunch of them. There's a handful, more than a handful, because they're trying to knock these judgments out quick, and not everybody is always on the grip board to get the prompt to know that there's a new certification to judge. There's nothing wrong with the judges. There's definitely something wrong with Derek Palmieri to take this stuff so stinking personally. And all he would have to do is say, okay, it didn't pass, and then wait his turn to try again. Maybe practice with some new angles. I'm sure people have reached out to him with suggestions on how to film these things better, because there's actually an optimal way to set up your camera and to set up the lighting so that you get your best presentation captured for your certification. It's a shame. I just hate to see it, because there's nothing wrong with those judges. And I think that's about it as far as giving that any attention. There's no reason to doubt the Mash Monster certification. If that's something that you're interested in doing, then I encourage you to do it. Just make sure your video's in good shape. Make sure your video is quality. Make sure you've got a good enough camera that it can focus fast enough to be able to get that closed on camera and so it's captured. And don't let, at the same time, don't let people like Derek Palmieri turn you off. They are by far the exception to the rule in grip sport. By far, the vast majority of people in this community are outstanding. They're outstanding people. So don't make an assumption that everybody's like this in grip sport, because they're not. Not everybody is going to purposely brace a rolling thunder against their leg and continue to do so in their training after they've been told not to do it. And most people will go about things the right way and take constructive criticism the right way. That's it. I'm going to shut this one down. And if you watched, I really appreciate it. If you left comments, I really appreciate it. Maybe one day I will figure out how I will be able to monitor the comments while I do this, because God knows I'm perfectly happy to answer any questions related to the topic. Reminder on the men's lifting group. This is something I've never done before. I don't know how long this will go on. So if you want to be a part of this lifting group, then make sure to reach out to me so that you get the secret location, brother. All the best in your training, everybody. Give me one of these. Make sure you subscribe. Comments below. Take care. It was MM3 that I failed 10 times, Doug, but I'm certified on Mash Monster 4. Yep. Oh, Doug kind of gave a rundown to Randy, so I appreciate it. Just looking at the comments now, because once I shut the feed down, I won't be able to view the comments. So if anybody has a way to figure out how I can view this live stream while it's actually going on, that would be awesome. All right. All the best. Take care.